Hi, welcome back to 4.5, part 2. So we're going to go on. It's kind of a new concept. It's called rationalizing the denominator. Now remember, in a fraction, the denominator is the bottom, and the top part is called the numerator. And in math, it is a bad thing to have a radical in the bottom. You don't want it in the denominator. We can't have it, so we have to learn how to get it out. I've given you a plan, a little cheat. This can go on your card. If you have a square root of b for your denominator, you're going to just multiply both the top and the bottom by square root of b. If you have an expression like a plus the square root of b, you're going to multiply by a minus the square root of b, again, to the top and to the bottom. If instead you got an a minus square root of b, you're going to multiply by the a plus square root of b, what we sometimes call as the conjugate. So, just another word to know, because words are so much fun. All right, so first step, decide which option to use. Do you have case 1, case 2, case 3? You're going to multiply the top. Most of that time it's just going to be distributive. And 3, multiply on the bottom, and sometimes you'll have to use FOIL. Okay, so we're going to look at some examples like this. Now we're going to mess with you, and I'm going to go back this way on the board. Okay, hang on, got to get a blue marker. I'm back. Okay, so let's look at this example. You know that you could break this up into square root of 2 over square root of 15. But you can't have a radical on the bottom. You can't do anything, any reducing. So which case was this? Was this case 1 or 2 or 3? Oh yeah, this is just that plain case 1. So we need to multiply by the square root of 15 on the bottom and the square root of 15 up top. Okay? What you do to one, you do to the other, and then it's just like multiplying by 1. Okay? So 2 times the square root of 15, well, 2 times 15 is 30. And then, now, you can actually do this. Square root of 15 times square root of 15, that's square root of 225. Ooh, that's one of our magic numbers, which is just 15. Or, if you want to go square root of 15 times square root of 15, which just gives me 15, I don't care either way. Okay? Now, is there a perfect square that goes into 30? Think about our magic list. We'd have to start at 25. Nope. 16? Nope. 9? Nope. 4? Nope. So you're done. Problem solved. Okay? Now, let's look at one that is going to take you a little bit more work. Okay? Notice what's on the denominator now. We've got a minus the square root of b. So go back, look at your card where you wrote that stuff down, and I think you're supposed to multiply by, instead of a minus the square root of b, a plus the square root of b. What you do on the bottom, you do on the top. So it's like multiplying by 1. So now, up top you have 4 times 5 plus the square root of 2. On the bottom you have 5 minus the square root of 2. You have 5 plus the square root of 2. Okay, now, what do you need to do up top? You're going to distribute. So 4 times 5 is 20. And 4 times the square root of 2. Now, this one's out in front of the radical. This one's underneath it. So just write it like that. It's fine. Okay? Now on the bottom, what happens? Our first terms, remember FOIL? First terms, 5 times 5 is 25. Outer terms, 5 times the square root of 2. 5 stays out. Square root of 2 is still underneath. Then you do the inner terms. Negative times the positive is negative. 5 stays out. Square root of 2 underneath. And then we've got our last terms. Negative times positive is negative. And these are both underneath, so we can combine them and you get 4. Okay? Now, let's start doing some simplifying. I don't think we can do a whole lot up here. Okay? Ooh, look. This has a radical and this has a radical, but one's positive and one's negative, so they cancel out. And that's why you pick that conjugate or that opposite sign to get rid of it. Then you might say, well, that's great, Mrs. Roth. You got 25, but we still have a radical. Oh my. Oh wait, what is the square root of 4? Oh, it's just 2. So we don't really have a radical. You can combine them and get 23, and you get 20 plus 4 square roots of 2. Now this should happen every time. There should be no radicals on the bottom, and it should become just like one number. One, it could have multiple digits, but one number. Okay? So that was our second part. We're going to practice that either in class or after you've seen some more video. Bye!